Hey guys, it's your girl Tammy Torres. Welcome to the G.E.M, the Grand Enterprises Movement. I am super duper excited today, y'all. I got my girl, Miss Diamond-Ariya, who is here, y'all. She gonna introduce herself because we have been talking about this thing for a minute, y'all, about her being an amazing solo traveler. But I'm gonna let y'all hear from her. But first, Diamond, I want you to introduce yourself because there are so many people that just want to hear from you and want to hear all about you being a solo traveler and being that you have actually traveled to 7 different continents.
Well, hi everybody. I'm Diamond-Ariya Maisie, and Tammy introduced me pretty well. I am 25 years old. That's something I want to state before we start the podcast. I'm from Chicago, and I'm excited to be here tonight to talk with you all and answer any questions and just discuss my experience of solo traveling. So people that aspire to solo travel will have the confidence themselves to do it and not be afraid.
Awesome. Well, listen, I want you to talk about how did you actually get into being a solo traveler? Like, what made you be like, you know what? I want to go ahead and start traveling for Dolo. And
Oh,
then,
really?
yeah.
Oh, I know you was going to ask the second part of the question.
No, I was going to say, just, tell us a little bit about how you got started being a solo traveler.
Okay, so I can go back to when I was younger. My mom, my auntie, my grandmother, they used to always take my siblings and I to different cities. And I think that introduced me to starting to go travel within the United States as a child. So as I got older, I moved away from Chicago to move to a different state, which was DC originally. And I was away from everybody. I was just pretty much like on my own. So I was always able to be on my own. But it got to my 21st birthday. I'm going to tell y'all a story. My 21st birthday, I was trying to plan a cruise vacation. During that time, I was still an undergrad at Howard. So the people that I was asking to go with me, they were, also college students at the time. And everybody was telling me, like, okay, Diamond, we're going to go with you. We excited for your birthday. We're going to go. So I was excited. I planned the whole trip out, sent everybody the information, the flight information, hotel information. And the closer we got to the trip, people started to, drop out of it and everything. So with me, I was in a sticky spot because it was my birthday. And I was like, you know what? That was the realization I told myself. I said, you don't need all of these people with you to go and enjoy yourself. And that was my 21st birthday. I went on a carnival cruise to the Bahamas. That was my first solo trip. I've been other places before that, but that's what pushed me during that time of like, okay, Diamond, you're not going to sit and wait on everybody to go enjoy yourself. So once I did that, I met a lot of people during that experience. I had a good time. I felt like I was surrounded by so much love while I was out of town. And I know that's crazy to say because my friends that I expected to go, they weren't able to go. But during that time, I was able to build connections, meet many different people, eat different, types of food, do the excursions, everything that I would have did with those people that I was disappointed that they couldn't go initially. So from that experience, that pushed me to go on other trips on my own and just initiate the planning process without including other people. And, just taking that time to spend that time with myself. So from that, I turned into doing like solo trips for like my birthday as a tradition because of how much I enjoyed that experience. That just basically motivated me to make that tradition. And then throughout the year, I take different trips as well. So I always make sure to do my international solo birthday trip and then like other trips here and there when I'm able to do that out for work and other things. But just all in all, that was the start of it. My 21st birthday, not wanting to wait on nobody and just up and go. And then from there, it was a good experience. And I just being 25 now, I'm still at it. So.
You know, I love the fact that you are doing it so young. I think that is so cool. You know, but people would
Thank you.
ask like the safety of it all. Like you're only 25. You are taking international and national trips on your own. And people are like, okay, how is that safe? She's 25. She's out here by herself. You know, what about the safety of it all? Do you feel like you're safe when you're traveling? And if so, what are some of the precautions that you take to make sure that you are safe?
That's a good question. So initially, before I go to a place, especially being a young Black woman and being on my own and knowing I'm going to be on my own when I go to different countries or different places, I would make sure to do the research on that
Mm.
place before I go. And I'll already formulate a list of places I already have a bucket list. So I form that bucket list by going online and saying, okay, where are the top places that Black women are able to go alone?
Oh,
Okay, where are the places where it's the best food? So that helps me narrow out my list. And then I go and I search the laws, the crime rates, and different things. And then I watch different vlogs on YouTube, TikToks of people who have already been to places that I'm on my way to or I already booked to go. So I already like stock up that knowledge with the research of, listening to other people's experiences, going online and like picking places where I know I'm safe. Like I'm not going to go to Afghanistan by myself.
right.
So I think
That part.
it's important. It's important to really look at the laws and know how you are going to be viewed in these different countries because they do have different societies than we do and different beliefs and they have different views of who we are. But from my experience, I've had positive experiences in different countries because I made sure the first step of my research when finding out where I'm going to go, I'm making sure initially that I'm accepted and then also reading and listening to the experiences of other Black women.
See, that's good. And I think a lot of people don't take the time out to do research, which is important. You know, when you are going on vacation, whether you're going for solo or not, you have to do your
Right.
research ahead of time because you don't know the culture. Or if you've been to that place, you might know some of the culture, but not all of it. And it's just important to make sure, like you said, to do the research, find out what the cultural norms are, what are some of the things that are safe to do, not safe to do. We all want to explore and be adventurous while we're on vacation, but safety is key. And I'm glad that you chimed in on that and said, listen, at the end of the day, I make sure I do my research. I check with other Black
Absolutely.
women and be like, hey, sis, it's what we doing.
Right.
That's important. That is so important. And the reason I got excited about this because when we were at work and I heard you saying that,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? You done traveled the 7 continents. So can you share with people where you've traveled? I know you've been a lot of places,
Yeah.
but can you kind of share where you've been so people can get an idea of where you've explored?
Okay, yeah. I've been to Haiti, I've been to Brazil, I've been to Ethiopia, I've been to Ireland, I've been to Dubai, I've been to Mexico plenty of times. I've been to Jamaica, I've been to the Bahamas, I've been to Cartagena, I've been to Abu Dhabi. I don't know, it's more, I don't know. I don't know how
Oh
many I
my
named. That's
gosh.
like 12 places. But
Girl.
but my favorites were Brazil for sure. I think
Okay.
for black women for sure. When we to stay on the topic of safety, I think Dubai was the most safe country I've ever
Really?
been to. Yes,
Wow.
because a lot of people are afraid of going to Dubai because of what they hear about how strict it is or the laws or the religion, but that goes back to searching and doing the research and knowing the laws because I made sure to search the Dubai laws before I got out there and I saw, okay, it's legal to yell out there, but it's
Mm,
legal to scream and yell in public here, but it's illegal to curse out there or be
mm.
belligerently drunk in Dubai. So there's certain things that I
Oh,
learned.
wow.
And it was super safe out there. It was super clean. And it was not what
Mm.
I would have expected when it came to how strict it was out there. And a third place of safety, I would say Ireland. Ireland.
Oh, really? Ireland?
Yes, surprisingly.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. And so, all right. So, what made you choose the trips that you have been on so far?
So me personally, I make sure to go to places where it's good scenery and also good food. So I make sure to find like a
Good
popular
food.
dish or cuisine that I want to try. Yeah, I'm a foodie.
Yes, me too.
So I would try to find like a restaurant or popular food or something that is in a specific city. Then I'll do more research on it. And then it goes back into seeing, okay, how would I be treated there? Or do they like Black people? Do they treat women right? Would I be safe as a single woman, solo woman in that
Yeah.
area? How is the weather? And it also depends on the season or what month it is, because I also make sure to see like, okay, I have something coming up in June, and I make sure to see the top areas to visit in June, and that's
Hmm.
safe for Black women. That's like the start of my research right there.
Yeah.
The month of season or whatever, um like, and then the safety part. But say if I'm going somewhere in January, if I'm going to a country that is going to be rainy during that season, I'm not going to go.
Hmm.
Versus say going in June, it might be better to go to Bali in June than it is to go in February, but it's really January. Bali is better to go in January. But
Hmm.
you get the point of what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Just making
Yeah.
sure where you're going is also matching the time it is in the month and the season,
Hmm.
because the seasons are different. We'll go somewhere
Yeah.
like, okay, it's hot out there. I know we got a beach and it's cold out here, but it might be rainy season out there.
Hmm.
So it's important to do that research. So that's how I pick the food, the weather, the
Yeah.
season, and just crossing off my bucket list, honestly.
Wow. And as you're traveling, do you find new places to explore? Like, I know for me, when I'm traveling, I'd be like, oh, I didn't know so and so was this close to this place or whatever. So when you're traveling, do you explore like that as well? And then you're like, okay, I got to add this to my bucket list?
Yes. I think that's actually the best way to travel. And then while solo traveling, you meet other solo travelers who give you recommendations,
Oh,
because I met people that have been way
wow.
more places than I've been. And I make sure to say, okay, how did you do this? Or, where did you go when
Hmm.
you went here? Or they'll say, oh, where are you going next? And I'll tell them, and they'll say, oh, you should try this out. And then we'll
Oh,
connect, and then they'll see that I'm at where I said I was going, and they'll message me, hey, check this place out. Check this place out. For example, when I was in Abu Dhabi, somebody told me to go
hmm,
to a mosque and said, hey, this is what you should wear there out of respect for the religion and culture.
hmm,
And that was somebody that I met solo traveling. So I think that's
hmm,
important to also be aware of, like, the religion of where you're going, just making sure you respect the culture. And even if you know that they speak a different language, become aware of the language, and you don't have to know the language and be fluent in the
yeah.
language. It's just out of respect, certain responses were saying hi or bye, like, in the language, they'll appreciate that. I think that goes a long way when traveling to other countries. And if you don't
Oh,
understand
wow.
them, just say I'm American, and
Hmm.
they'll say, okay. Like, but I don't tell people that I'm by myself either. That's something that
Oh,
I
yeah.
forgot to mention with the safety
Safety.
part.
Hmm.
Your street smarts goes everywhere you go. It's
Yes.
not just out here. So that's an important thing that I missed over when it came to safety. I would say, especially like as a woman solo traveling, I make sure to not really disclose that I'm by myself,
Hmm.
honestly,
Yeah.
unless it's, say, another Black American woman or something that's like, oh, girl, I'm by myself. And I'm like, okay, me too. You know, but
Hmm.
it's not like I'm going to broadcast that I'm by myself. For
Hmm.
example, I was at a restaurant at Copacabana Beach in Rio in Brazil. And it was a guy that was talking to me, and he's like, oh, who are you with or whatever. And I told him, I said, my friend is at the hotel. She's getting ready. She's about to meet me here. Out of the safety aspect, do not
Hmm.
broadcast you by yourself either. That's for
Yeah.
you to know. And that's important when it comes to safety, because people can
Yeah,
come
that's
off
a
as
big deal.
friendly, but you don't know if you can trust them, especially being in a different country. So
Hmm.
just not really broadcasting that you by yourself is important too.
Yeah, yeah. And then paying attention to your surroundings, because, I know we see this stuff on movies and stuff all the time, girl. But somebody move,
Mm-hmm.
when people move in a suspicious way or whatever, you
Right.
might look to see if they look behind them or they looking to the side of them, who they looking for, who they checking for, because
Right.
I think I know it's wild, but I feel like safety is all of that. Like whatever we do home, and sometimes we're more comfortable at home, so having to be a little bit more cautious when we are traveling, definitely, whether we with people or not, we still got to be safe, right? True.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a good point, like that you said, whether we with people or not, because the same methods,
Yeah.
skills, research, everything applies when you are with other people as well. But you really, really got to pay attention when you by yourself. But I like that you mentioned when you with other people, because even if you are traveling in a group, these things are very important to consider, especially if you are a group of women traveling.
Right, right. And so in your travels, are there any of like favorite activities that you enjoy? Things that be like, oh, this, you got to go to this place and do this particular thing, or you got to go to this place and try this particular food. Do you have different things that you kind of like started tracking and share with other people that are interested in traveling to different places?
Yes, I would say the excursions, my best excursion that I did, my favorite excursion that I did, I booked it the same day and was just like, okay, girl, go do it, was
Mm.
hang gliding. I went hang
Oh,
gliding in Brazil. They had to drive us up this big, big, big mountain cliff. And it took us a very, very long time to get to the top. And when I got to the top, I said, oh, y'all want us to run off of this? And the video was on my Instagram. But I had to basically get tied to a pilot and kind of hold on to him, but I was barely tied to him. It was just like clipped basically, and then like a one knot. So I was pretty loose off of him, but we had to run off the cliff. He did not speak English. He only spoke Portuguese. So that's why I said it's important to know like the small bits of certain languages, because he was giving me the instructions in Portuguese. And I was telling him, I don't really understand fully, and I would need somebody to translate this because we about to run off a cliff. And he was telling me, he was like, he said this in English. He said, good pilot or good English. I said, good pilot, good pilot, good pilot. That's his way of saying, I know what I'm doing. Okay. Even if I'm telling you this in Portuguese, you're going to be good. So once he said that to me, I felt comfortable. I felt like, okay, I can do this. So we ran off. We was up there for like 10 minutes. And when we first got off without the foot, our feet on surface, I was like, oh my gosh. But it was the most beautiful view I have ever seen in my life. It was like we were like a bird in the air for 10 minutes and we landed on the beach. I started off being like super nervous, but once I was up there and just seeing like, okay, I'm safe, we navigating safely, I felt very, very comfortable. I also met another Black woman there named Tiara from South Carolina, and she gave me a lot of like knowledge and everything about solo traveling too while I was there. So that was during that hang gliding experience all in itself. So I would say that was my favorite of all. I'm like a adrenaline type of person. So when I do travel, I like to do things like that. And I'm also big with the beach clubs. So I know you see a pattern. I like the tropical vibes, but
yes. You like me,
but the
girl.
beach
It has to
clubs.
be tropical. And it has to be pretty. So, like, I see
Yes,
that you've traveled to a lot of beautiful places. Like, it has to be tropical. It has to be pretty. But, I'm down with looking at some other, non-tropical,
right.
not as
But
glamorous
that's my
things.
favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beach clubs. I love the beach clubs too. I always tell people about the beach clubs.
So, what's the beach
But
clubs? I've never heard of
they
that.
have
Maybe I'm. Yeah.
they have like the cabanas, and you can order food, drinks.
Oh,
You go
okay.
into it, you pay like a price, and it's like you have a whole day pass. You on the
Okay.
beach, you get served. It's very, 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 very nice. I love beach clubs. But one thing I want to say with beach clubs, they sometimes will try to scam you if you are by
What?
yourself. You have to be aware of that. Yeah, with the
Y'all
pricing,
hear this,
because
y'all?
like
They gonna be
in
scamming you on the
Cartagena,
beach clubs.
for example, um, I went to one, and I think that they were like, okay, she by herself. After a while of me being there or whatever, we had to take a boat over, like a speedboat over to the
Mhm.
island. And it was like a beach club on the island. And, they were like serving me super nice, everything, great service. But at the end, the price was, of course, it's going to be in the pesos in the country,
Yeah.
but they upped the price of what the stuff really was. And they didn't know that, like, as a
Right.
Black woman, I was aware of the pricing conversions of like US dollars to pesos. So
Yes.
they tried to basically make it 3 times of what it was.
Right.
And then once I pointed it out and kind of was, showing them I understood some Spanish. That's why I was saying like showing them, okay,
Mhm.
I
You said
understand
my
that's
Spanish un
important.
poquito. Don't play with me.
Yeah, that's important to show I understand you and I can also speak your language. And once I
Mm,
started doing that, it was like, oh, okay, you're right. This is an error. Let's fix it and
mm,
everything. So that's something I want to point out too. Like a lot of the times with the conversions and stuff, they might try to take advantage of that, especially if you are, drinking and everything. So that's something to be aware of. But
that's
beach
good.
clubs, that happens a lot. But you see a lot of influencers that make videos on that too. But
Mhm.
beach clubs are A1. I love the beach clubs.
Okay,
During the
okay.
day on the beach or the island, you just got it's not like a club like you would think. Some might
Yeah.
be, but it's not like
It's just you get to take
it's more
advantage of
relaxing.
like the luxury part. Like you actually get to
Yeah.
have the luxury where somebody's pampering you, taking care of you while you chilling.
Right. So it's more relaxing. But I
Mhm.
guess like I'm in a good mix of when I travel. I like the adrenaline stuff. Like I said, I run off a cliff and then I'm going to the beach club right
Oh
after.
wow.
Or
I love it. I love that. I love that. I think that it's important to travel. That's something that I travel, but I used to never take time off from work. I know that sounds crazy because at my age I definitely should, but I used to never take time off. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna just do a 4-day weekend here, or I would take like 1 week off and not really use my time. My time would just be carrying over, and I'm like, dang. So once I hit a certain part of my life, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start taking more time off and actually, traveling more. And
right.
so with that, I've really thoroughly enjoyed that. But yeah, that is something like you said, it's important because we work so hard. We need to take time off. We definitely need to enjoy. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
important. And then you come back and you just feel refreshed. And then with traveling, it's I feel like motivating in a way as well because as you're
Yeah.
traveling and you come back, it's like, okay, time to book the next trip because you're
Yes.
gonna miss that vacation. So it's something to, something else to look forward to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then also too, I know that some people like to travel once a quarter. That's like my ultimate goal to be able to travel
Yes.
quarterly, honey, quarterly. um, but with that being said, it can get expensive. So how do you manage the cost of traveling? Like, are you part of any kind of memberships? Like you mentioned, is there any kind of incentives that you've gotten, things that like your points adding up here and there, like, anything to kind of offset the cost.
I would say I'll start with the points, right? Um, when you book the flights and everything, try to stick with the same airlines, try to stick with the same like resort names. Even if you switch it up sometimes, of like, okay, I'm going to do Delta with this and maybe do American or something. Just try to be consistent with the airlines because the points they do add up quick, very quick, especially with the international trips. They really, really add up very quickly. Um, but before, you got to spend your money to get the points, right? So I'm going to go back to that point of just like budgeting and really knowing where you want to go. And it's not really as expensive as people would think. Like I used to think like, oh, it's going to be a lot to go here. But when you compare prices nowadays, like for example, I saw a round trip resort hotel to Peru for September that was much cheaper than going to Miami. But we are like conditioned to think, oh, Peru is going to be way more. So I'm not even going to search Peru. I'm not even going to search the resorts. I'm not even going to look at that. I'm going to look straight at Miami or look straight at Texas or Houston or LA or something. But a lot of the time, since our currency can be worth more in different countries, it's like the flight may be the most expensive thing you pay for, and then you go in the hotel is like way cheaper, and you at a 5-star resort and you are paying like $5 for seafood and US dollars in a way. So I would say just knowing where you want to go, knowing it goes back to the seasons too, of knowing like the best time to travel there, and then the prices will also reflect that, and just like budgeting in a way. That's the biggest thing with me. I know that I like to travel. I know when I like to travel, and like certain times, like January, for example. I know my birthday is the same day every year, so I prepare for that, and just like put little money up here and there, but also look into the stuff early in advance, and know okay how to budget it. So a lot of websites too, like Expedia, Booking, I know it's like controversial to use those, but from my experience, I think Expedia is pretty good because you're able to bundle everything all in one and then see that one price, and just also compare it to other prices, and also put your filters in it of knowing like, okay, I want excuse me, I want air conditioner in my room. So that's what I like about Expedia. You can say air conditioner, oceanfront, balcony, restaurant, spa. You can put all of these things, and then they'll weed out all of the places that don't have that for you, and then they'll give you different options. Another website that I like is Apple Vacations. That's a really good website. It has a lot of like Caribbean spots. You have European options, but mostly it's like Caribbean, European. Some are like Greece, but you have to look at that in advance as well. But just I would say give yourself a minimum of 3 to 4 months of knowing like, okay, this is where I want to go, and sticking to that, and really like that's when you start all the research and just start putting your money up from there. But like on average, you can find things on Expedia for, I don't know, just name out like a country and I can give you a price estimate on how much that would cost.
Italy.
Italy, I'm going in June actually, Amalfi Coast. So with a flight, hotel, and everything estimated without the food and transportation that's outside. This is flight, round trip, and resort. That is like $2,600.
Wait,
But
are
the
you
most
kidding
is your
me?
flight. Yeah, the most
That's
is your
crazy.
flight.
Wow. Wow.
Dubai to get there was like less than that, like a little hundred under that, like maybe like $400 less than that. But I think I talk about Brazil a lot. That was my favorite place I ever been to.
I've never
That's why
been
I'm
to
going back
Brazil.
to
I
that.
want to go.
But that
I'm
was
like, I'm going to
like
put that on my calendar
in January, Tammy. That was like $1,200.
to go to Brazil. And was that like the best time to go to Brazil? Was like in the winter months?
Yes, it was the best time to go. It was hot out there. It
Oh
was raining a
man.
little bit, but not a lot. It was not
Okay.
raining a lot. It's like when it started to rain, it'll stop quickly.
Oh,
And
I
from the
love it.
people that I met out there, they were telling me that it happens like that. People just go under something, it stop raining, you go back outside. But they have on like bikinis, and everybody walk around in like swimsuits out there.
I
The
was gonna
men
say
got
because they
on
said Brazilian
heels.
people are beautiful. They said Brazilian people are beautiful. Yeah.
And there's a lot of Black people out there. They look like
I
us out
know.
there.
I didn't
They
even
look just
realize
like us.
that. I
They look
saw
just like us.
I saw that on somebody's blog or whatever. And you need to do a blog, girl, because you
People tell me
definitely
that all the
you need
time.
to do a blog. We're gonna talk about that offline.
Okay.
You know I'm the business queen, right? But
hmm
definitely you need to do a blog. But
People always say that to
I
me.
heard I saw somebody who always travels to Brazil. They was doing like a video or something on YouTube, and I was like, "What? They black?"
Yeah, they
they
Black. They thought I
they
was
black
from
lady.
there. They was
Yep.
coming up to me, speaking to me in Portuguese. And
Mm,
I was like, I'm American. I was, understanding
yeah.
certain things, but I was letting
Yeah.
them know I don't understand everything.
Yeah.
So they were like, "Oh, you
That's
look like
cool.
us. You look like us. You look like us." And I was like, you know, we black
Oh,
too in America.
right,
And
right.
and
We
they was telling
everywhere.
me,
We everywhere.
right. And they was telling me like, oh, you know, we see the Kardashians on TV. So that from their perspective, it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Wow. So then, so with that, when you are traveling and you meet people or whatever, how do you know, like, to, like, I'm a friendly person too, so I'm always meeting people whenever I'm out.
Right.
Yo, that's how you and I met, because I said hi. I was like, hey girl, you know,
That's how we met.
that's how I am. And so naturally, I think we got the same thing where we'll just say hi to whoever, or, you know, speak back. And I just think it's kind of like just general courtesy. But how do you know when to be like, okay, let me say hi or not, or whatever?
That's a
You
good
know, so
question too.
safety. Yeah.
Just like feeling the vibes, you know,
Yeah.
like I won't initially say, hey, I'm by myself, but it'd be like, you know, just
Right.
going with the conversation, being friendly. But if it's something you like, okay, that's weird, you just be like, all right, gotta go, you know. But if you feel like, okay, this is safe, you know, you can like interact with people more, but I don't go nowhere private with nobody.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. Nothing like that. It'll just be like wherever we met at, I'll probably sit with you and eat or something on the side and talk to you, but I'm not gonna like, you know what? In Dubai, was this one girl from Kenya that
Mm-hmm.
I hung out with. I met her at it was like a Radisson rooftop party thing out there
Mm-hmm.
on the Palm, and then I went with her to a yacht party afterwards. But I felt safe with her. You know, she was
Mm-hmm.
telling me like different things of like, I think that answers your question. Of
Yeah.
like when you go somewhere and then people are looking out for you naturally and they don't even know you by yourself. You know, like okay, of like okay, you know, you should do this, or you should, you know, do this, or did you get this sunscreen because at this time it gets really hot? Did you
Yeah.
know, like that people that's just like
Yes.
helpful naturally, you know, you can feel that vibe, you know, in the same way
Yeah.
that you know, we felt each other and you're like, hey, you cool, like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So, you know, a lot of people, I think they tend to travel to the same places, because a lot of people don't like to travel far on planes. And I'm one of those people. I got like a 5 to 6 mile radius, 6 hour radius. So I'm like, I think the furthest I've traveled was like 7 hours on a plane. And I know that's not a long flight. But if for somebody like me, who does not like to fly long periods of time, you know, yes, you can do a layover, but how have you overcome like those long flights, like to Dubai or, you know, wherever, you know, how have you overcome those, and any rules of thumb or advice that you would give anybody that does not like those long flights?
When you said Dubai, girl, I just got PTSD from that flight.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Y'all
16
hear it?
hours.
See? Now y'all see why I see why I can't. I just be like, no, it's so pretty and I want to go, but
But
why I gotta be that far?
you just gotta tell yourself like this is
Oh my
temporary.
gosh.
Like, okay, 15 more hours,
Oh my
14 more
Lord.
hours,
Oh,
take a nap, 12 more hours.
oh.
I'm just playing.
Seriously, no, that's
I'm
exactly. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
You have to like pretty much just like break it up in increments, and they do feed you. They do feed you like multiple times.
Okay.
And they feed you good too. They feed you
Okay.
good. Get you a glass of wine or two. And
Mm-hmm. Oh, child.
a lot of the times, like talk to people too, you know, on
Yeah.
the plane. If they talk to you, you might not want to talk to people, but during that time people are going to be talking to you because the people that's on the plane are going through the same thing you're going through.
They in
So
there stressing like me.
yeah. And what helped too was like buying a Wi-Fi on the plane.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting a lot done that you kind of like don't really have time for during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, like while you're not on a plane, just like bringing your laptop, getting the Wi-Fi, getting a couple drinks, ordering the food, talk to people. But
Yeah.
it's not like it's easy though. I'm not gonna lie, just like, oh yeah, that's not that bad. It is.
You
But
said
I would say,
PTSD. See what I'm saying, y'all?
but with the longer
That
flights
thing.
too, make sure you get it worth it. You know, make sure you get your time's worth when you go there for like
Mm-hmm.
Say going to Bali, for example. Try to go to Thailand too. Like try to knock
Yeah.
all of that out while you over there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That, and you know what? I saw that on somebody's blog to stop in different places and do like a weekend excursion or a couple days excursion in that area. Like try to be in multiple places if you're gonna go that far. That's a good idea. Yeah, and definitely I think it stretches your dollar too, right?
Yeah, yeah. And even in like and when you go to like Europe, everything is closed.
Yeah.
Everything. Because I
Mhm.
heard somebody put this in terms, and I was like, wow, that's true. Of like, we have US cities, especially like on the East Coast, for example, that are like 45 minutes apart, like DC, Baltimore, like an hour apart, 45 minutes, an hour apart, right? Those cities, not cities, those countries are like the same distance that we would drive to go to another city in the US. So, like, thinking about how close a lot of these countries are, like the country destinations and distances, like how we are driving from Baltimore to Philly or DC to Baltimore. You can go from one country to the next. You can go from London to Paris to Amsterdam. That's what I'm doing in October, going to all three at once. So just taking advantage of that too, of knowing like, okay, I'm taking this longer flight, but I'm going to see 2 to 3 countries within it. So it makes it worth it. And if you pretty much say divide that time of like, say you're going 16 hours to Asia or something, just knowing like, okay, that's like on average, like 5 hours per country, just changing how you're thinking about the flight time. But it's worth it.
Yeah, that's the only thing for me. It's like I would love to do like international travel to further places, but I just be like, oh Lord, that flight. I mean, I be tripping. I'll be like, Lord, help me, please. And yes, I plead the blood of Jesus over it, but I still
I
can't.
think you would do well solo traveling because you are friendly, like you said, and you're very charismatic. You got
Mm.
positive energy, and you're very smart too, very
No, thank
bright.
you. Thank
And
you.
I really think like you will come back and be like, okay, Diamond, I met this person, this person, this person, this person, and I think that's the excitement of it, of like meeting other people. And then
Yes.
when you go back to these places, me personally, I don't try to go to the same places. I think Brazil would probably be the only place I would probably go. I
and,
keep
and
saying
and
it. I love
Mexico.
it.
And Mexico.
And
Mexico.
Mexico. I've been to
I
Mexico a lot.
love Mexico.
And Mexico is one of those you can just
Yes.
go anytime, especially because how convenient it is. I
It's so
love Mexico
convenient.
too. I
Yeah.
love Mexico. It's so convenient. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful out there.
It is.
Friendly. The food is amazing. I love Mexico too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah, I would say like I'm trying to like think. You meet like so many people, and then when you go to these countries, it's like you have that network there.
Yeah.
That's very motivating too. And I
Mm.
have like
That
a
makes
lot of
sense.
people that I met. They follow me on social media. They'll add me or something,
Mm.
and those are the first people to comment on my pictures or support
Wow.
me.
Wow.
Before the people that and you
That's
grow
so
up and
true.
you see. And from my experience, it's like the people that I grew up with, it's like, okay, they see me transitioning. I moved out, to the East Coast, and then they see on social media you traveling. Some people where you grow up with, they don't really support you or,
Hmm.
want to. But then it's
That's
like those
facts.
people that you meet everywhere, those are different connections. And that's what I like about it too.
That is so true. That is so true. People think because because you now live in a different lifestyle that oh you think you all that type of thing. I don't know why we
Right.
do that to each other. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Right.
Like we just tearing each other down. It's terrible. We got to stop that.
We do. Yeah.
Yes, but another thing that I want to talk about. So the food and the water, right? So I remember the first time I went to Mexico, right? Oh my goodness, I got so sick because I was drinking a lot of the slushy drinks where they got
Uh-huh.
to use their ice or whatever. Girl, I
Uh-huh.
got so sick, I ain't realized it's the same water that they make the ice with. So I was,
Mhm.
I was like, Lord Jesus, that was the first night. And so the second day I was sick the whole day. So like any advice as far as like, the food, the drink, I know people be like, I ain't drinking that water, but literally think about it. When you want those slushies, that ice is coming from the same water. They're not using
Right.
bottled water.
And some countries do. That's one thing I learned.
Okay.
They will use that bottled water or give you a glass water. And you're like, wait, I just want it. But that's one thing to know too, is some countries where they have certain laws where they don't even use the tap water for beverages or ice or something. They'll like freeze a water bottle or something. But one thing about that is you'll see that water on your bill though. You still got to pay for that water. That's the thing about it. So that's the privilege that we have here in America, even though, a lot of us don't even really drink the faucet water unless we at a restaurant. We know that's faucet water when they bring the water and the lemon out. When they bring the water and the lemon out. But in the other countries though, like you are paying for that water. If it's not coming like it is in like Mexico, America, or where we are from. But some of them they won't even give the water because it's that bad, depending on the
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then what about the food? So like I know you said you're a foodie like me. I love food. I absolutely love food. I mean, listen, I think most of the places I go because I like the food. Like I love Caribbean food. I love, that kind of Caribbean type of vibe. So for you, what is it about the food that has to be on point in order for it to be a repeat?
Well, for everywhere for me,
I know everywhere.
Season and fresh. I feel like how with your example with the slushy. Me personally, I'm a pescatarian, so I eat a lot of seafood, and if it's not fresh, my body can tell I would like get sick, throw up. So I think like the freshness of the food is important for me. The seasoning for sure. Just like the texture of it too. Like I like octopus a lot, and it depends on who's cooking it for it to be best. And I would say the safest option as a foodie when you go somewhere would be like getting something that they are known for, like Peru, for example, known for like the ceviche. Yes. Going and you're going to get some tacos or something in Mexico. Just knowing where you at and what they are known for.
Right. Because don't try to get no pizza. Don't get pizza. I was gonna say, don't get no pizza from Cancun.
Right. Because I was just talking about my cousin. She lives in Kentucky now from Chicago, and she out there sending me pictures of her shrimp and crab legs. And I said, girl, don't be sending me them Kentucky crabs.
Kentucky crabs.
And I'm out here
in Maryland.
Right.
You said what? You got these DMV crabs.
And I said, what's that? I was like, the white shrimp. I said, hold on now. Don't be sending me that Kentucky.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I think like just knowing what the places are known for, because when I'm out here, that's what I'm eating, crab in Maryland. So
everything crab. It's funny, I moved to this crab state and I got shellfish allergies. So
what?
I know.
You sound like my best friend. He is also from New York with a shellfish allergy. And every time he come out here, it's like, I can't get no crab. I can't get no shrimp because of my shellfish. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even imagine.
Yes, I'm like, dang, this is crazy. I can't even eat those shellfish. I just be watching people like.
Have you ever tried octopus?
Yeah, I can eat octopus. Yes, I can eat calamari and octopus. Yeah, it's shellfish that I can't eat. I eat regular fish. So yeah.
Because grilled octopus is my favorite, but there's some places that overcook it. Like surprisingly,
and then it's all chewy. Don't taste good.
Yeah, if it's too chewy, it's too much. I like it to be tender and seasoned and grilled. But I'm really a foodie. People tell me I can be a food critic.
Yeah, look, you miss it. We're gonna have to talk online. Everybody watching, y'all hear me telling her this. We gotta talk offline because you need to be starting a vlog, girl. You need to be starting a vlog or have your own channel. I'll come on into you.
Okay, I would like that. Everybody always say that. I just be doing it and whatever. And, I'm very humble, so if we come up in conversation, it's like, because I think from at work when it came up. We were doing an icebreaker, and it just came up like that. But I do need to get more, put myself more out there. I agree, and I do appreciate you saying that.
Girl, listen, I was looking at your pictures alone. And we're gonna talk about where y'all can follow her on social media. We'll talk about that later. But like looking through your pictures, like anytime I send you, I was like, oh, send me a picture. Girl, them pictures and stuff, because it talks about your experience, your food, your travel, all of it is really shown in, your photos and your videos. I'm like, this girl should be doing so much more. And yes, you are very
Yes,
humble and so sweet and kind. I get that, but girl, listen, this is your side hustle right here.
right, right. I need to get out of
And
that.
it's
But
and
I
it's
do share
informative.
this
It's
with the people
fun.
that's close to me. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
need to broadcast that more and let other people know. And
Yes.
I just tell people close to me, like, girl, you need to go here. You need to do this. Here, I'll help you book your birthday. Even if, I'm booking my own solo stuff. That's one thing that I do, because like a lot of people in my life know, okay, Diamond know
Yeah.
how to plan the trips. Diamond gone. So I would do that for other people in my life. Or like, okay, I'll help you narrow this down. Or my cousin, for example,
Yeah.
with her birthday, she was like, I want to go somewhere. I don't know where, but I said, okay, give me an idea of the weather. And she said, oh, I want it to be hot. So I said, okay, give me like an idea what kind of food you want to eat. And she was like, oh, well, I would eat this and this and that. And I was like, okay, so what kind of animals would be there? How you want the party scene to be? Just asking questions and narrow down
Yeah.
different destinations. And I was like, girl, it sounds like you want to go to like Peru or something. Because she was like, I want like the mountains. I want this, but I want the beach. And I want to see some llamas. I said, okay, that's Peru, girl. Like, but I looked into that for her. And that's how for the example earlier when we started discussing, when I said that was like $700, $800 when I sent that to her to look at for her
Wow.
birthday.
See what I'm
But
saying?
let me
You
tell you
paying
something.
you paying for them flights.
Let me tell you something though. She went and booked Houston instead after that,
What?
and
After
paid
all
more.
of
Let me
that?
tell you
Oh,
why.
oh
Because of
my
her friend
gosh.
group of people that's like, oh girl, I don't got no passport, or oh, that's gonna be a lot. And I was like,
Go by
it's the
yourself.
same price as Houston, and Houston is much more because you got to pay for the parking, you got to pay for all of this stuff. And she was like, wow, I really should have went there, because the people who convinced her to change her mind, girl, they ain't even go.
See what I'm saying? And see, and I have put trips on hold waiting on other people. And you are sharing with me, like, do not, guys, say it again, Diamond. Do not put your trips on hold waiting for who? Other
Nobody,
people.
because they gonna be talking and talking and talking, and then you're gonna be like, okay. But then you got people too. One thing I do want to mention, like as we talk about this before we, um, before we wrap up, some people will speak fear into you with
Yes.
solo traveling, and like people that they'll speak fear into you. They would. And I want to just say that to the viewers and to you as well,
Yeah.
that you just got to say, okay, thank you. I appreciate that you care about me. But just know and be confident in your research, and just the biggest thing is watching and listening to the people that have been there. They're going to tell you, okay, I went to this place. I was treated this way. This happened, but this was a good experience. If you have the option to go here, over here, go here. And I'm open, and I'll be happy to answer any like questions for anybody outside of here as well when it comes to that too. But that's the biggest thing of like not allowing people to talk or speak fear into you,
Absolutely.
especially. And when I say that, mainly
Yeah.
is people that is from my hometown, family, not people that I met within my professional world, or people that want to see you do well, or people that are like, trying new things themselves. It's always from like people that are back where back where they've been at. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's one thing. Don't let nobody try to keep you stuck. Don't let nobody try to say, oh, that's not a safe place, or you can get kidnapped. You can get kidnapped anywhere. You
Right.
can get kidnapped
Right
in
here.
DC, Baltimore, New York, Chicago,
Really.
LA, not speaking that on nobody, let me not cross some
Right.
wood. But everything happens everywhere. So I think like that sense of relief of, excuse me, not letting people speak fear into you helps a lot. And just knowing like, okay, I did my research. I watched this video. I'm going to be safe. And another thing, another thing. It's like everything is coming
I
smooth,
love
but
it. I love it. Keep going,
um,
girl.
get
People
on
are
that
loving it.
transportation. Know about the transportation before you go anywhere. Like
Yes.
have it booked
Yes.
ideally already,
Yeah,
and
I
if
do the
not,
same thing. I book it in advance, book my
right.
transportation in advance.
And if not, have look at them Uber laws and see if that country even has Uber or if Uber is even legal there. Because
Mm. Wow.
that's a big thing. Sometimes Uber may be more beneficial to get somewhere. You might pay $3 or $2 to get from the airport to the resort or hotel or wherever you stay. So I think that's also very important to look at before you go in the research part. That's one of like the last things to do within the planning. Not I should have like broke down the middle part of
It's
the
okay.
research, but I said the beginning part of it is pretty much knowing your demographic, knowing how you will be treated in certain places, and knowing the season. Match that up. In the middle, then you start to narrow down the places, look into the food, look into the culture, interests, excursions, and figure out, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that. Break that list down. So it's like you got, you're narrowing it down. And
Mm.
then you pick that one place and then you start to look at, okay, what should I wear here? What should I do with this? Like that. And then in that process, that last process, that transportation is very important to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very important. Because you're going to
Yeah.
have a lot of people, depending on the country you're in, that's going to be walking up to you at the airport trying to
Yes.
get you to pay them for taxi or something. And you got to be like, no, 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 I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. My ride is here. You got to show them I've
Yes.
already got my stuff out. Because people will take advantage of you or try
Mm-hmm.
to like carry your bag for you and ask you for a tip or something or try to get you to get them some money. So you got to have
Yes.
that stuff.
That's so true. That is so true. So look, I actually I traveled. One of my favorite places that I've traveled was when I went to Barbados. I love the Caribbean.
Ooh,
And so when I went to Barbados, I actually booked and I don't know if this is safe or not, y'all, but I did research. So it was safe after I did my research. But I actually didn't stay at a resort. I stayed in a villa. I rented a villa. And to me, that was an amazing experience. And I was like, why don't I always do this when I travel instead of staying on a resort? Now, it is more expensive because resorts are all inclusive most of the time, right? And so I did have to do like an a la carte. But I really enjoyed like being off grid, like not in the resort space, being able to be with the people. Like it was me, my sister, and two of my close friends. We actually got to we hired a chef to come cook for us. We hired a driver. So I had a driver in advance. Like it was part of
right.
like you said, you could book through Booking. I booked it through Booking. And so booking.com, y'all. And and with that, it says select, do you want a driver? And they met me there. They knew, like I knew who, everything. Like, and the person that I rented the villa from, they called me in advance and let me know, X, Y, and Z. But like you said, a lot of this is I had to do research up front. I had to know, I don't know why my picture just changed, but you had to do research up front, and I had to know who I was looking for, where I was going and things like that in order to make
Right.
sure that I was safe. So have you ever done anything where you actually stayed off grid?
Yeah, I'm about to go back to Brazil. Here I go.
I know, Brazil.
I need to move there, right? Because I've been
Yeah.
everywhere and I
Girl, you better
keep
get you a little
going back.
spot there.
You see what I'm saying?
I gotta go to
But
Brazil now.
you do. I will go with you.
All
But
right, let's go.
when I was out there, I actually stayed like in the city, like in the like downtown, even in Dubai. I did too. I just thought about it. I did too in
Wow.
Dubai. I stayed at the
Okay.
world's tallest hotel, which was like in the downtown Dubai.
Oh,
And then in
wow.
Brazil, it was like a boutique hotel. But
Mm-hmm.
that was the best. I feel better than being on a resort because you are secluded on a resort. It's different
Yeah.
benefits of a resort to where you do have like that safety aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I would prefer to be like in a boutique hotel or like a
Yeah.
villa, like you said, because you
Yes.
have that communication with the people and the people that's within the community that's from that country.
Yes.
And when I was out there, I was asking people like, where should I go? Instead of looking online or saying like, okay, where do you think I should go?
Mm-hmm.
And people was like, "Oh, go to Impanema Beach, go to Cocobamba Beach, go
Yes.
here." And I was doing that. I said, "Okay, everybody I just asked gave me like 5 different things. I'm going to put that in one day." And best day I had because
See
I
what I'm
asked the
saying?
people who live out there,
Who
what's
lived there?
your
Yeah, and
right,
we found that, so like me and my sisters and us, when we was in Barbados, we found there like was a fish fry. We came in on I think like a Wednesday or Thursday, and we found out that on that Friday everybody goes into Oystons, which is like downtown
ooh,
Barbados, and so everybody went into Oystons, and that's where they do like a big fish fry. So they don't actually fry food; they put it on a grill and they call it fried. But it was, when I tell you, the food was so good, y'all.
yeah, it's
I
for
know my
real,
sister. It was grilled. It was fresh. So they don't like pack. You know this. They don't package their food like we package it. So
right,
people actually, we saw the divers from our villa going into the water, getting the fish, like, and the fishermen like out there fishing for the fish, and then at Oystons on Friday, there was all this fish, like fresh fish, just laying out ready for us to choose from. I was like, oh my goodness. Definitely going back to Barbados. It's been a minute. But
that sounds
it was
good.
it was the food was amazing. Like everything was on point, and it was just, doing like, knowing the people, starting to get to know the people, and they start telling you where to go. We did a boat
Right.
excursion because they was like, no, don't go to that one, go to the one down here at this pier or whatever. And we got to see so much, Rihanna's house, all of that stuff, like,
Oh,
yeah. So it was an experience. But like you said, you gotta be willing to like ask people, you know
right.
be safe, and all of that. So I know it's getting to the top of the hour. Listen, this is amazing. This was an amazing conversation. I want you to first drop some gems, because you dropped a lot. You dropped a lot of
Mhm.
gems, but drop some final gems so that people can know, kind of how to be safe as a solo traveler, what to do, just a couple things, and then also your social media handles.
Okay, cool. First, I want to say thank you for bringing me on here to talk about this. I always like coming on here.
Yes.
But the biggest gems I would say when it comes to solo traveling is do your research for one. Be aware how you look, how you present yourself, and just knowing and seeing if the country laws and everything and how their society is aligned with that for your safety, male or woman, male or female. That applies to everybody. I would also say align the seasons. Pick your destination based off of the season and when it is,
Mhm.
because of different weather and countries. And I would also say don't let people speak fear into you. Don't let
Yeah.
people detour you. Go where you want to go. Don't wait on people, because when you wait on people, you miss out. And I had to
Yeah.
learn that. And it took me um, deciding, okay, Diamond, do you want to have a good birthday, or do you want to have a birthday where you wait on people? And then from there,
Mhm.
I just continue to go. But I would say that's the biggest thing. Don't wait on people, and just go out and see the world. And oh, we talked about the flight time. I want to touch on that again and just say, y'all, just get your trips first. When you get on that 15, 16, 20 hour flight, just
Yes.
know, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself, and it's going to make it more worth it. You're going to say, okay, I earned this vacation at home and at work, but this flight, I earned it some more. So just go out, enjoy yourself, go out, enjoy yourself. Don't let nobody detour you. Do your research. Stay safe. If you're by yourself, don't tell nobody. It's not their business. Even if they see
Mhm.
you by yourself, my whole family is across the street. Okay, they just didn't want to come here. You got to do that. You got to do that nowadays. Just be aware, y'all, and just don't
Yeah.
let nobody speak fear into you.
I love that. I love that. And of course, we love you being on here, girl. I'm so happy that you
Um,
continue to join us and rock with us here at the gym. We
always.
truly, truly appreciate you. So please tell people, because you said if they got questions, they can reach out to
Oh,
you.
my
So
Instagram.
how can they reach out to you? And how can they see all the beautiful pictures that you have posted on social media?
Instagram is Diamond Fangs, DIAMONDFVNGS. I also have a Facebook. Is Diamond-Ariya Maisie. That's like my family and friends on my Facebook, but I also make sure to share my photos with them as well. I need to start posting more. but I have a good amount on there. I'm just like,
Facebook.
yeah, y'all can just add me on anything. But my name is Diamond-Ariya Maisie. And
TikTok.
yeah, this TikTok is the same as the Instagram, DIAMONDFVNGS. And I guess when I talk to Tammy, I'm gonna be posting more, y'all. So
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah,
follow
we
me.
we gonna get her a vlog. We're gonna get her a vlog. Yes. Well, listen, we appreciate you. Thank you again for rocking with the G.E.M. We appreciate you. And to everybody watching, we appreciate you guys joining us too. Thank
Thank
you. Have a
y'all.
blessed day.
Have a good one.
All right.